Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Dragon Quest VIII. Today we're going to take on the final trial in glorious 8 times speed. At least for this first bit. Because we've already seen this before. The final fight against the Lord of the Dragovians is a marathon against every single dragon you have fought up till now. And then one more brawl with the ultimate dragon. Now, each of the dragons, the Lord of the Dragovians is the same as he always is, but each of the dragons has about half of the hit points that they do in their initial trial battle. It's some are more, some are less than half, but it's if you say they have about half of the hit points they had the first time you find them, you'd be right-ish, close enough for government work. So, there's really nothing that different about the strategies that I'm going to use here. The dragons themselves are all pretty much the same, minus their lowered hit point totals. One special thing that you can keep in mind is that every time you fight one of these dragons, it resets your monster teams. So if you're using the King and Us, like I am, as a monster team to revive people, then you can use it once every single battle. And it's useful. I end up having, Angelo and Jessica do most of the revival. But near the end, having that extra one per battle revival is amazing. And I do take advantage of it. Other than that, there's not really much to say, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this in like 8 times speed. So what you want to do is, I mentioned this before in the first video when we're fighting the Vermilion Dragon, just like when you're fighting the Lord of the Dragovians to fight the actual trial dragon, you need to try to end every single one of these battles in as good a shape as you can. Because when you get to the first few dragons are not really that big a deal, but when you get to the gold dragon and beyond, they really kind of start to wear you down. Thankfully, they don't have their full hit points. They've only got, like I said, about roughly half. But if you are not careful, they can really get you. Part of the reason why this is such a big deal is because each of the dragons, every time you go into a new dragon form, it not only resets your monster teams, but it also removes all of your buffs and things like that. That's also a blessing because it removes debuffs like, say, the Dazzle that the first dragon can put on you. But if you've set up time to put like Oomph and Accelerato, well, you've got to put that back on as the fights go on. Another big concern is running out of MP. Because, let's see, 25, so that'd be 7,000-ish, 25, so it'd be 9,500, plus another 1,300, 1,400, 20,000. You're looking at over 20,000 hit points. 27-ish thousand hit points for all the forms of this dragon. And that's a lot of hit points to get through, and it's a very, very long battle. Before I cut this down, this battle, it took me 50 minutes, I think, to do the whole thing. It was a really long video. And it's hard work fighting this boss. I was really, really nervous the entire time because the first time I beat this game, man, you know how many times it took me to beat this guy? It's like I still have the scars on my soul. And as you can see right there, the Darksteel Dragon got me down and almost killed me. And I used Maxi Master to kind of reset the battle, which is one of the reasons why I, used it. I probably should have used Zing Slinger earlier on in the battles, but I don't feel like they're that big of a deal. It's really only like the Darksteel Dragon and the Divine Dragon that I have too much trouble with. And I feel like I need to actually use the revival mechanics from Zingslinger or Maxi Master. Part of the reason is because up until that point, I've probably, used all of my Yggdrasil leaves, and I'm down to just the one, so, having an extra bit of revival never hurts anybody. So once you defeat the Divine Dragon, you got one more dragon to go. The Ultimate Dragon. Now, I'll talk a bit more about the Ultimate Dragon when we actually get to him, which will be here in just a few seconds. Just a quick little thing to kind of talk about, like things you need to prepare. Just general things that we talked about before. Bring as much revival as you can. Bring as many Yggdrasil dews as you are comfortable with making. Definitely bring some MP restoration, because as you can see here that I have gone through Angelo's MP bar twice. He's almost out of MP again. It's very important. Other than that, it's pretty much just kind of a building on all of the previous dragon battles we've had. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back at 2x speed with the Ultimate Dragon. Look at that purple SOB right there. He has 7,320 hit points. So he doesn't have the most hit points out of each of the individual dragons. That's still the Divine Dragon. But he gets 3 attacks per round, can build tension, can breathe cold breath. Not frightfully cold breath, but just regular cold breath. Breathe scorching flames, cast magic burst, and yell intimidatingly to knock you off your feet. This guy is an SOB, like I said, because he will psych himself up 2 times, and then he will breathe scorching flames. And if you are below, like, I was almost at full hit points, so I was in a really good position, but I have had that guy just... I'm just dead right there, like, and there's nothing you can do about it because I didn't go into the battle with more than 350 hit points. So you can see it's very, very, very important to end the last battle with as much HP as you possibly can, and as soon as you end up in the next battle, if he does that to you, use an Yggdrasil Dew. It's very important that you keep your hit points up. Now, Magic Burst there, it's really not all that powerful. It would do more damage, except I've got magic defense, and I use the Flame Shield. Magic Burst is Frizz Elemental, which the Flame Shield will have. So, Magic Burst is a very powerful spell, yeah, but it's something you really want him to cast, because he will waste one of his turns chanting to get his MP back, because mechanically what Magic Burst does is it uses up all of the target's MP, and they have to chant to get their MP back. So, it's pretty good. It's pretty good that he uses that, especially if you've got the Flame Shield up. So, I got really lucky there. Obviously, as he kills people and uses the the Wave of Ice, you want to put your Flame Shield back to use. Other than that, this dragon is not that bad. He doesn't have nearly as much defense as the previous few dragons. It's possible to damage him with just Dragon Slash. You don't have to sap his defense, which he's immune to, by the way. So you can get him with... You put Oomph on the hero, and the hero can go to town with Dragon Slash. He's a very similar fight to the Divine Dragon. It's just that instead of Cold Breath, he uses Scorching Flames, which does a little less damage. So... Like I said, very, very... I think the biggest challenge for this guy is that... I was just using Giga Slash here to test the damage difference between that and Dragon Slash. I think I ended up coming to the conclusion that Dragon Slash does a little more damage. Dragon Slash also has the added benefit it doesn't use any MP. So you have extra MP for, Omni Heal and stuff like that. like I said, very similar fight to the Divine Dragon. Just want to hit him with your best attacks. You know, chip away at him. He does not have nearly as much hit points as the Divine Dragon, and you can go through it pretty quickly. I think, like I said, the biggest challenge with this guy is getting through all the other dragons in a good enough position to not get killed by his Scorching Breath in the first round. I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. Ugh. Also, that stuff right there is why I hate random turn order. Like, I much prefer, like, my plan there was for Jessica to use Oomph on the hero and then the hero attack. Jessica is much, much faster than my hero. Why did the hero go first? I don't know. Random numbers. You know, I mean, I much prefer games where it's like, you have 100 agility, this guy has 80 agility, this guy has 79 agility. It goes guy 1, guy 2, guy 3. I want hard numbers. I don't want any random element to my turn order. It just makes planning things more difficult. You know, because, you know, sometimes the enemies just go faster than you, and it's like, why? I have 50 more points of agility than them. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. Ultimate Dragon is just like the other dragons. You want to hit them with your strongest attacks, heal, and use the Timbrel of Tension. I mean, this guy's being super nice and letting me get to 100 attention a lot, but I would probably say that you don't want to use your let yourself get up to 100 tension. I would think that you would want to probably use at about 50. As you can see, I used the King and Us a second time during this battle to revive Jessica. And they ate a wave of ice for me, which is really good. Even though Maxi Master affects your party that's off the screen, getting hit by a wave of ice or something does not affect anybody that's not actively on the field, which is really good. I was actually unsure of that when I fought this battle. I'm like, oh, he used a wave of ice. Does that mean Yangus is going to lose his tension when he comes back? But no, he got to keep it, so that was really, really good. I got to keep my oomph and everything. So there's really not much left to this battle. It's we're in a really good position. Our defense is super high because of Maxi Master, so he can't really one-shot anybody with his regular physical attack without psyching up first. This guy does not have any desperate attacks. As long as you can survive the potential of a tensioned up Scorching Breath, you're pretty much good. There's nothing else really that this boss can throw at you that will wipe you, you know? As long as you stay up on the revival. Like, if you don't let him kill, you know, a bunch of people and then, you know, ouch. Yeah, I was afraid he was going to do the Scorching Breath there again. That's why I summoned my monster team there. To, you know, take one for the team. Good job, Talos. And you saw that Cold Breath there. It still does a good amount of damage, but nowhere near like the 250 points of damage that the Frightfully Cold Breath will do. I always feel a little embarrassed when I go Cold Breath, but you know that's what it's called. But I'll just call it Frightfully Cold Breath. So you know you've seen all of his attacks, and Magic Burst, like I said, is probably the one you want to see the most, because he's got to waste a turn before he can cast it again. Bring everybody back to life, and just hit him. Just constantly hit him. Hit it very hard. Well, that was a good hit, Yangus. Yangus is probably, I didn't mean to bang my microphone there, I apologize. Yangus is probably the most useless party member in this battle. Yeah. It's kind of weird. Yangus being the big burly man that he is, he ends up being the weakest of your three physical attackers, and he, you know, doesn't have any utility spells. Even if you go down like Humanity, his utility spells are not that good. Like, he learns heal and mid-heal at a point in the game where, you know, heal is useless and mid-heal is bordering on useless. Underpants Dance is and Warcry are Warcry and Underpants. Warcry is useful, okay, but Underpants Dance is amusing and mildly useful. But they're really only useful if you know who they're going to work on. Like, if you just go off and use them random willy-nilly, they're not that useful because a lot of enemies are immune to those kind of attacks, the stuns, and like I said, Yangus just ends up being the weak link in a lot of these battles, but he is another body to put in front of your squishy characters, and he does have a lot of hit points, so he does have that going for him. Like I said, I just think it's weird that Yangus kind of ends up being more of a utility character, you know, in your final party, because he just doesn't look like that. He looks like he would just be your strongest physical attacker, you know, hands down. Kind of like in Luffy and the Fortress of Doom, you know, comparing the hero to Aguro. You know, he looks like he would be kind of in that same role as Aguro, and he's not. He is, like I said, more of a utility character. He's more useful for sapping enemies. In these battles, he's really more useful for casting the Timbrel of Tension. I mean, his main purpose for me throughout the whole game was basically to sap everybody that could be sapped. His moves just don't have the multipliers that everybody else has, sadly. He'll probably... Actually, from what I've heard, he gets entirely replaced by Red in the 3DS remake. Like, even though they fixed some of his problems, he doesn't have any of the special equipment like that a lot of the other characters have, you know, that have super awesome resistances. Like, his ultimate shield is the Big Boss shield, but the Big Boss shield doesn't have any resistances, so it's useless. So, but then they fixed that with making like new shields and stuff. But like his abilities, like everything he can do, Red can apparently do better. So, that said, I am still really, really looking forward to the new bonus content in the 3DS remake. If I can ever get capture stuff, I will do my best to put that up, because I don't think anything else will change.
I am impressed.
So, we're done. We have done everything in this game. There is nothing that I can think of that I did not show you, other than like some enemies or something like that, you know. I didn't show you every single enemy. It's very, very hard work to go out of your way to show all the enemies and all the alchemy recipes. If you do go out of your way and get all the enemies, you get rewarded with a ring that removes the random enemies from the game. They no longer happen.
I look forward to your next
so, you know,
very well.
Yay.
I shall transport you back to the sanctuary.
At that point, you don't need the random enemies anymore. Well, anyway, we're done with the Lord of the Dragovians. We'll never see him ever again. Next time on Dragon Quest VIII, we're going to go back to the ending, and we're going to see what has changed. I'm going to kind of skip into the ending in progress, because nothing happens until you get to the cathedral site. So, I'll see you then.